Hey everyone, so this is day 5 for SQL Interview Preparation series. So for today, our first question is, how can I copy down the structure of one table to another by creating it? So what I want to hear is, so I want to create a table, but I want the structure of the project table in that. So here you can see in project table, I have this table and I have a lot of data here. But the table that I'll create, I don't want a data there. I just want it to be empty. I just only want the structure of it. Like I just want project ID, worker ID, and project name there. I just want to copy down the structure. That's it, not the data. So how can we do it? So for that, we will just use a very simple syntax, that is select star, then you will write into the table that you will create. So for example, we are creating e table, then from which table you want your data to be copied down. So I want my data to be copied down from my projects table, but I don't want the data, I just want the structure. So I'll put the thing that can't be equal. So here I'm putting 1 equals to 2. As you know, 1 can't be equal, so I'll not get any data, right? So this will only give me the structure. So if I'll run it, you can see, if I'll run my table, also select the table that I have created just now, select star from E, you can see that only structured is copied down. Only the column name is copied down, not the data that we have entered in my projects table. But if I want to copy down everything when I am creating a new table, then how can I do so? Full table if I want to copy down. How can I do so? Just I will remove this where part. I'll write select star, then in which I'm just doing so in my table F, from my which table? From my projects table, and that's it. So if I'll run it, all the data with the structure is copied down. Let me show it to you. So from my table F. So if I'll run it, you can see that this table is same as my projects table. So this was our first question. Then our second question is, how can I get the current date and time? Date and time. So to get that, in SQL, we can just use getDate function. It is an inbuilt function. So I'm using getDate. So it will also give me current date and time. As you can see, I'm getting a current date and time also. Or you can use current timestamp. But just keep in mind that in that parenthesis is not written. No parenthesis is there. No brackets are there. So if I'll run it, I'll get the answers. So that was all about get date and current timestamp. So now our third question is, how can I get the distinct record without using distinct? How to get distinct records without using distinct? So for example, if I run my project table itself, you can see I have a lot of worker ID which are repeated. So what I want here is, I don't want my worker ID to be repeated. I want distinct worker ID. So how can I have it? So I'll just use select worker ID. I can do it with the help of group by. So I'm doing so only from my projects table, and I'm just grouping it by group by my worker ID only. If I run it, you can see that I'm getting all the distinct worker ID without using distinct. So that was all about our third question. Then our fourth question is, how can I have the alternate records? Alternate records. So if I'll run the table, I want to have the alternate records. We have discussed about it in our previous video also. but telling you the same. If I divide it by 2 and our division will give us 0, that what I want to print it. So we are doing that only. Select star from projects. Then in where condition we are writing projects where my project ID divisible by 2 and gives me a remainder 0, those project ID I want. So let me run it and show you. So I'm getting everything alternate records. But here you can see I have my project ID as 12345 6. But if we don't have our project ID to be like 12345 6, then how can we do so? For that, we have to use a window function. So to get I'm making a CTE first. CTE is. So I'm using dense rank. Why am I using dense rank? So that I can give everybody a number. And using a over clause, in over I'm putting order by project ID. And what dense rank will do, rank will give number to my project's ID. I'll show you that also, what I mean by this. So I want to have everything, so I'm using project ID as project PID, comma, worker ID as WID, comma, project name as pname, comma, and here I'm giving the alias as rnk from my table projects. Okay, so if I only run this, what will happen? So what this dense rank will give me, as you see my rank column. So what it gives me, it gives rank to everything. It gives rank to everything, right? It gives rank to everything. And I want all the alternate records. So I'll just do the same. Select star from my CTE where same thing. My rank divisible by 2 and gives me a remainder 0. Then I want to print this. So I have to run all these things together. And you can see I got my records. So that was all about uh, getting alternate records. When we have records in the form of 1, 2, 3, 4, then we can do a very simple two-line answer. If we have records in the form of like, if we have our project ID in the form of P1, P2, P3, then it will not be possible, right? So we have to do in the form of this. We have to give them a number by using dense rank. Okay. So our next question is that what do I mean by table, table, records, and field? This was also asked in many interviews, where though it's very easy. So what table is? Table is the combination of all columns and rows. So what is table? Combination of rows and columns. Columns. What about our records? So records are the rows in that table. Rows in a table. As you can see here, so these rows, 1, 2, these are the rows. So the rows in a table are records. And what are fields? Columns in a table are fields. So that's all for today's video. If you love my explanation, do like the video and subscribe our channel also. Thank you.